Welcome to the Christopher Peter Review, your source for an economic perspective on salient current events that impact our public policy, economic outcomes, and our overall society, with a focus on identifying ideas that will generate the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people. Please like and subscribe. Welcome, my name is Christopher Peter. The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles were finally presented with their rings, following a slight delay for the vendor to complete the production of them. Love the design. The reported 40 diamonds for the points scored in the game, the engravings recognizing the record of postseason points scored, and who could not like the pop-out wings. The retractable wings are a great innovation to Super Bowl wins. Great ring and deserved for the champs. As a lifelong fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, I love relishing on the victory and re-watching the game, but as Jalen Hurts did, it is time to set aside the past and focus on what is next. For the players that remain, what is next is the defense of our second Super Bowl win in our franchise history. So much has happened since that great Sunday in February where we left no doubt whatsoever about who was the better team. Watching the game with some fans, I thoroughly enjoyed the pain our dominant victory had on the Dallas Cowboys fans sitting next to me. But, time moves on and what you accomplished in the past does little to guarantee the same success in the future. Each year we have a completely different roster of 53 players and 14 practice players that will pursue the next title. Every team will have a new roster with the hopes of improving their outcomes, while we hope to replicate our results. The football season has really become a year-round thing. We saw some of those teams poach our players during the free agency period in March. We said goodbye to Darius Slay, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, James Bradbury, and Mekhi Becton. Traded away CJ and Kenny Pickett. Saw Brandon Graham hang up his cleats following his second title with the team. We did not make any big free agent signings like we did with Barkley. Then in late April, we welcomed the new birds to the next, where we had another talented class led by Campbell from Alabama, who is highly regarded. Love seeing Mina Kimes still rave about his talent, but there was a great amount of talent across the entire class coming in, and reports seem to back that up. On the coaching front, we lost Kellen Moore to the New Orleans Saints as their new head coach. Congratulations to his promotion and to Kevin Patchelo, who will step in as our new coordinator. But we have Vic Fangio still leading the league's top defense. Still have a future Hall of Fame coach in Jeff Stoutland. And our fearless leader Nick Sirianni was extended. So hopefully we have a good foundation to continue to build on. One thing that I like is when we can head into camp is that there are no controversies. No holdouts or issues. Our players seem hungry and ready to defend their title in what seems to be a very difficult schedule. And I like the dynamic of the team this time around. Much different than our last Super Bowl title defense. That Eagles team was a great one, but was more of a veteran-laden team built from free agency, and we saw that as the defense season continued. Also, we have stability with the most important position in all of sports. Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts is our undoubted leader and starting quarterback. I am a big fan of Carson Wentz, but it is understandable that there might have been some resentment or at least uneasy feelings seeing someone finish the season that you started with a near MVP level play to win the Super Bowl with one of the most memorable plays in Super Bowl history. The only play that I would say tops the pick six. So this year, there are no controversies. The team seems to be still hungry to win. So let us discuss the team a bit more. The Philadelphia Eagles scored more points in the postseason than any other team in NFL history. An offense that was heavily debated all of last season. Can the offense pass the ball? Are they too reliant on the dominant run game? Can they handle the Chiefs' dominant defense? Our dynamic offense showed we can do whatever we need to win games. I am bullish on our offense being able to still be effective in the same dynamic manner that they did under Kellen Moore, where they ran dominantly when needed and threw the ball efficiently when defenses focused their attention on Saquon and stopping the run game. We had the most dominant run game in recent memory, and I do expect that teams did their homework and planned on different approaches to stopping the run. I still believe that our talent is still in its prime and getting better, and if we can remain healthy, we can find ways to adjust to what defenses are doing to us and score points. There is too much talent on the offensive side of the ball to not succeed to some degree. Even if we come down a bit from last year, I think we still will have a chance to win most games we play. Jalen Hurts should be even more confident than ever, proving doubters wrong in an indisputable manner. I do question what our offense may look like under Kevin Patchelo. To some degree, it is not easy to avoid the comparison to the last time we hired internally and the struggle that we experienced. But, I think it is a different dynamic, where we are coming off a Super Bowl win, rather than a team bearing the weight of a disappointing Super Bowl loss, where they seem to let it consume the entire next season. They played with what they thought was just a chip on their shoulder, but it turned into being an actual anchor instead. This year, I think we have an offensive coordinator with experience being a play caller in the past. He has been with the team for the entire Sirianni regime and understands the players. There is pressure to perform, as is always the case in Philly, but the doubt is gone. We know we can win. And we still have a great offensive line. We have the possible replacements for Becton with a talented rookie or a player that wore the midnight green earlier in his career. Matt Pryor was a pretty good contributor for us in the past, so we should not see a drop in quality. Still the best line in the league. No question about it. The biggest changes to our team came on the defensive side of the team. Last year was sort of the last stand for many of our veteran performers like Darius Slay, James Bradbury, and Eagles legend Brandon Graham, all who contributed greatly to the team over the years, but there was a clear need for a turn to the future, which luckily the future started effectively last year with a great rookie class. We have a budding shutdown corner and a dynamic partner that chose the greatest time to have his first career interception. The two second-year corners combined with Reed Blankenship, the other half of the exciting Whites, and all-pro Zach Braun should form an effective secondary where our new rookie safety can find his way in place. And we cannot forget how great Jalen Carter played in his second year, how Nolan Smith grew into the player we thought he could be, and the great play and proven potential in Nakobe Dean, who hopefully will come back healthy and find his form not long afterwards. Great job in Howie investing draft picks to help create depth for the young defense with selecting Jihad Campbell, who may be another future star. We saw many of our linemen from last year earn market-leading deals in the recent free agency period, and they deserved every dime they received. We have to be happy in our front office's ability to find talent and replace talent that becomes too expensive to retain. There is no reason to expect our defense to take a major step back. Vic will develop them and we can expect them to get better each week like last year. I think it is big for us to have continuity on the defensive side of the ball. Vic Fangio showed that he is up to the task of attacking great offenses and outdueling the best minds and field generals in the game. And this year he will have many opportunities to do it as he has to defend against Mahomes, Allen, Prescott, Caleb Williams, and Rookie of the Year Jaden Daniels. Still big decisions on who will take CJ place. Will it be the rookie? Or will Sidney Brown get a chance at regular action? Time will tell. And now is the time for either to earn their spot. The beauty of training camp and how the Eagles value competition. Nothing is given. Everything is earned. Despite the change, I'm still optimistic with how our defense will play. We are young and talented, and have the right leadership in place to guide these budding stars. The biggest challenge our Philadelphia Eagles have is the schedule. The NFL is filled with talented teams that can make games difficult on any given Sunday. And when you play teams is just as important as who you play. Unlike other leagues, we do not play everyone. We play our division and then a select set of teams that will rotate. That makes it exciting and challenging at times. And the NFL experiences greater change in terms of roster development than other leagues, where team building could be a 3 to 5 year period because of guaranteed contracts. For our flock, we do have cycles. But those cycles can change greatly if the team does not perform and appears to be on the decline rather than ascending. I think the Commanders may take a step back, but they have strengthened their roster. They will not be a pushover. But not having Scary Terry may impact them if they cannot get that deal done. They have invested greatly in talent on the other side of their prime or ones that may be at or near the end of stardom, so there is a risk there for them. Another team that could be better may be the team I hate, the only team in professional sports that I hate, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. I do not believe they will be a threat for the division, but they may no longer be a complete pushover. They now have two receivers that can create some balance for their offense, and they have that beast in Micah Parsons, who hopefully will join his hometown Eagles next year. The Giants may still need time and pieces. They may be better on defense than last year, with a formidable line that should be able to help keep scores closer. But the offense is still not there yet. They may have their future quarterback, but who knows, and have a potential star wideout. They will probably need more, but they may not be an easy win anymore. The division is clearly getting better. Mixed in are games with teams like the Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in Week 2, the Detroit Lions who were last year's top seed, the Buffalo Bills, who got robbed on the fourth down call, and the Rams who played the Eagles the closest in the playoffs. The Chargers and Broncos are teams that we know will be tough, as they both made the playoffs, and the Eagles have to play the Vikings in Minnesota. If that game was in Philly, I would feel better about it, but you have to play and beat the teams that you are scheduled to play. No excuse. Just performance is accepted. That is football. Always has been and hopefully always will be.
My name is Jennifer. Here is an interesting stat to think about. Jalen Hurts is 1-1 in Super Bowls. Carson Wentz is technically 1-1 in Super Bowls despite never playing in either of those games. The last team to repeat as Super Bowl champions in the NFC was the Dallas Cowboys in the early 1990s. The last team to make it to back-to-back Super Bowls in the NFC was the Green Bay Packers, who beat the New England Patriots and then lost to the Denver Broncos. So the odds are sort of stacked against us. Like we still have not seen the same team win back-to-back years in the NFC East since early this century. But I think if any team could break all these trends, it definitely could be this Eagles team. They clearly have the right talent mix on paper, the right leadership and coaching. I think we finally understand our identity and are able to draft it, sign free agents that fit it, and tweak it to be at the forefront of change in the league. Many teams tried to build teams centered around dominant quarterback play to compete with the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills. We saw that in Detroit, where the team was aggressive and aired the ball out at every chance they got. Chicago tried to do that after drafting Caleb Williams by signing free agent experienced receivers and drafting talented rookies as well. It may come to fruition. But the Eagles showed that a dominant running game can take the league by storm. When they committed to the run, they were unstoppable and still could throw with the best of them when needed. So they did not conform to what the norm was supposed to be. They chose to stand out, and it worked. Win not by the strengths of others, but by your own. We had the best season for a running back, had the most points in the postseason ever, and dominated the future GOAT and our former head coach who had our number. We did not conform, did not abide by the voices that hate us. We knew who we were, what our strengths were, and won by any means necessary. Our Eagles innovated and outworked everyone. Can we do it again? Last year will be hard to completely replicate in the exact same way it played out last year. But we can still win a lot of games. We can still find ways to dominate teams and let our talent shine. It may just need to look different. And that is okay. We will make our picks later as we prepare for the podcasting the entire football season as well as everything else that we cover. But we are looking forward, not backwards. The new season is here and we are excited to see what this year's team can be.
Fans of professional wrestling lost a legend and global icon of sports entertainment in Hulk Hogan, who for many decades was the face of the sport. When you think of professional wrestling, you undoubtedly think of Terry Bollea. He was the biggest draw consistently for the longest period of time, as sports entertainment consolidated into a national promotion and millions of people, especially youths, followed his inspiring aura. Like many people, I grew up watching Hulk Hogan as he wrestled in the red and yellow during the Hulkamania era. He was the star of stars in the squared circle. I loved watching his cameo in one of my favorite movie series in Rocky III. Being a Philly guy, I connected with Rocky, played by Sylvester Stallone, and my favorite wrestler appearing in the series. He was the industry's first real crossover star, appearing in movies while still conquering the airwaves. He was not a central figure in what eventually became the WWE's initial rise to the top of the industry, but he helped reshape the entertainment value by turning heel and ushering the NWO scripted edgy storytelling done under WCW during their 83 weeks on top. He was controversial later in his career, as we all know of the taped conversations and personal decisions. But, while it can be disappointing when our stars are not exactly who we believe they are, I believe the whole picture is important, not just the bad moments. We should be able to acknowledge people change and do better, which seemed to be the case afterwards. He was still an inspiration to many and was the ultimate patriot in an environment where many have lost their touch with why America is truly great. Rest in peace to the immortal Hulk Hogan. A big thank you to all of you who experienced the Christopher Peter Review, the podcast episodes, and the blog. Please remember to continue to visit www.crcreview.com for more content, and do me a favor and like and subscribe.